This week on Capitol Report, Connecticut leaders battle it out with the NRA.
They have, in essence, become a terrorist organization.
I want to be able to defend my family, and I'm not going to be shamed for it.
New TV ads fuel the battle to make Andrew McDonald Chief Justice.
Andrew McDonald is under attack. You can stop this smear campaign now.
We talk parades, politics, and breakfast sandwiches with Congressman John Larson.
Hello, everyone back home at Augie and Ray's. Hello, America.
Larson is ham, egg, and cheese with roasted peppers and tomato.
And Yukon clears the air on hand dryers.
Hi, I'm your dryer, and I'm a pro.
We leave no stone unturned. Capitol Report starts now. Capitol Report. I am Tom Dutchick. We are so glad you're spending a little part of this St. Patrick's Day parade morning with the gang around the Capitol Report table. Jen Snyder, Communication Director for 1199. Roy Occhio-Grosso, Managing Director for Global Strategy Group. Republican strategist Liz Karanowitz, and the big dog, Chris Healy.
And I'm washing my hands of this whole thing.
Former GOP State Party Chairman. Guys, let's get into it. Governor Malloy and Hartford Mayor Luke Bronin going toe-to-toe last week with the NRA. Bronin called on the state to eliminate the NRA from its role in Connecticut's firearm permitting process. Bronin, who's exploring a run for governor, came out strong on the issue and later fundraised off it. And Malloy has his old pals back on this one.
They have intimidated and threatened legislators around the country, the national level and at the state level. And I think it's important that the state of Connecticut make sure that we are not inadvertently legitimizing or supporting or endorsing the NRA in any way.
The NRA as it exists today is a far cry from the NRA that in 1999 said teachers shouldn't carry weapons in schools, or in the 90s also said that we should have universal background checks. They have, in essence, become a terrorist organization.
Tough words from the governor. So how do you think the NRA feels about this? Some labeled it as political posturing. Here's what NRA spokeswoman Dana Lash had to say.
I want to be able to defend my family, and I'm not going to be shamed for it. I'm not going to be shamed for it by the Connecticut governor or anyone else that wants to smear me or anyone as terrorists because we disagree with him, and we have a different way of protecting our families.
But you're not against.
So Healy, NRA terrorists.
Yeah, I found out I was a terrorist this week, but quite frankly, this is just a distraction again by Dannel Malloy. What he wants to do is obviously take the NRA licensed firearms instructors out of the mix so that it'll fall to the state of Connecticut, which means, oh, we won't get around to those like we used to. At least that's what he's hoping. You know, and Bronin, I mean, oh my God, first of all, get a milk carton when you're doing those things, those press conferences. And secondly, he's the mayor of murder capital of Connecticut. And he's mayor of a town that in 2006 was ranked the most violent in Connecticut. So the NRA has nothing to do with people getting shot down in the streets of Hartford with illegal weapons and violence. It's just a joke.
Roy, Republican candidate for Governor Peter Lamage called this a political ploy, plain and simple, and he called these Democrats pathetic puppets for the ultra-far left.
Well, first, let me untangle some of that nonsense. First of all, Luke wasn't mayor of Hartford in 2006. That's number one.
No, 2016 he was.
Number
I
two,
apologize if I only said 2006.
Number 2016. Two, the NRA exists for one reason and one reason only. That is to put as many guns in the hands of as many people with absolutely no restrictions. That's what they exist for. No, they don't advocate for. They don't advocate for guns. They oppose every reasonable gun control measure.
No, they don't.
And look what's happening. They're starting to lose their grip. They're losing their grip in Florida. It's happening state by state by state.
And you
Run
see,
on the NRA platform and see what happens.
You see also that they have been wrong every time that something has happened, and they have come out what they think is going to make us safer. I mean, they were against the renewal of the assault weapons ban, and they said that that wasn't going to make a difference. Now we have AR-15s tearing through our schools. And when somebody has been wrong for decades on something, and so many lives have been cost, I think they have to be removed from the equation. And we have to have somebody else at the table, because they prove themselves to be completely wrong on what's going to keep us safe.
So Liz, let me try a second bite at the question Roy didn't answer. Former Trumbull Selectman first Tim Herbst, another Republican running for governor, said Governor Malloy's vilification of responsible, law-abiding Connecticut gun owners is reprehensible.
Yeah, I agree with Tim. I think that, you know, the governor was making some salient points on some of the issues with the NRA, and then he just blows the whole thing up. Like, he can't stand that Chris Murphy is the only one that can, you know, sort of say these shocking things about gun owners and Americans. There are people who feel very strongly in the Second Amendment, and there are people who feel very strongly that their freedom of speech is protected by the Second Amendment. And to call millions of Americans who belong to the NRA terrorists is reprehensible.
That's not. That's actually not what he said.
That's what he said. That's exactly what he said.
He called the NRA a terrorist organization, not the people.
Okay, so
if you want to put as many guns as possible into as many hands as possible, that's what terrorists do.
Deplorables. I mean, this is the holier-than-thou nonsense that Democrats
you guys
love
run
to deploy.
on a pro-gun platform and see what happens.
That's not what I'm suggesting. What I'm talking about is not calling people terrorists.
Speaking of that, on the other side of this issue, President Trump continues to flip-flop on the issue of guns like a fish out of water, and that could have big-time political ramifications. Just ask Senator Chris Murphy. Watch this.
I think 2018 is going to be the first year in which obstinance from the Republican Party and unwillingness to do anything is going to hurt them at the polls, especially in these suburban districts. I think President Trump kind of gets that, which is why he got so far out in front of gun control at that White House meeting. But the Republican Party isn't ready yet.
All right, so there you go. Back to politics. Yeah. As you were saying.
I think if the Republican Party wants to have a debate and they want the 2018 election cycle in Connecticut and elsewhere to be about guns, bring it on.
Yeah,
I'm happy to stand.
I hate to disappoint you. I hate to disappoint you.
I'm happy to stand with the pro-gun control candidates. If you want to stand with the anti-gun control candidates, let's have it out.
You do that right. Here's why this is such a joke. Dannel Malloy is turning into that crazy uncle in the attic. He's like the guy standing in front of the TV with the fly swatter. Every time he sees something bad, he's snapping at it. This distraction means
children dying in schools is something just to swat at. That is an important thing to speak out against.
It is important
and you do see
to realize
that the Quinnipiac poll
backs
up exactly what Murphy was saying, that more people are supporting this. You have 2 to 1.
Then fine.
It's by 2 to 1 margin of voters that are going to be voting in 2018 are supporting gun control.
Here's the great thing.
It's the highest that it's ever been.
Here's the great thing. You've got Murphy Cornyn. Pass it. You've got agreement on bump stocks. Pass it. You look at what happened in Florida.
Okay, you have a 90.
Are you suggesting that the gun control laws haven't passed in Washington because of Democrats alone?
No, I'm not making that suggestion at all. What I'm saying is, come to the table and let's do it. The president's behind it. Republicans have been warned.
Let's do something meaningful that actually might make a difference.
So you're saying that Murphy Cornyn isn't meaningful?
No, I'm saying it's a step in the right direction.
Even if people wrote that bill said it's not the main solution. They said that it's not the main solution. There has to be, even the person who wrote that bill.
All right, guys, we got to wrap it here. Not the last time. Next up on Cal Report, another Republican joins the governor's race in the bitter divide over the nominee for Chief Justice, Andrew McDonald. Don't go away.